ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ।
ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ।
ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਪਦ ਪੰਕਜ ਬੰਦਨ, ਪਦ ਪੰਕਜ ਬੰਦਨ, ਸਿਮਰੋ ਅੰਗਦ ਦੁਖ ਨਿਕੰਦਨ, ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਗੁਰ ਹਿਰਦੈ ਧਿਆਵੋ ਜੀ, ਹਿਰਦੈ ਧਿਆਵੋ। ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਵੋ, ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਬਿਗਨਨ ਕੇ ਨਾਸਕ, ਬਿਗਨਨ ਕੇ ਨਾਸਕ। ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸੁਭ ਸੁਮਤ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਸ਼ਕ, ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿ ਰਾਏ ਨਮੋ ਕਰ ਜੋਰੀ, ਨਮੋ ਕਰ ਜੋਰੀ। ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਮਨਾਏ ਬਹੋਰੀ, ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਪਰਮ ਕਿਰਪਾਲਾ ਜੀ, ਪਰਮ ਕਿਰਪਾਲਾ। ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਬਿਸਾਲਾ, ਤਰੋਂ ਤਰਾਂ ਪਰ ਪੁੰਨ ਪੁੰਨ ਸੀਸਾ ਜੀ, ਪੁੰਨ ਪੁੰਨ ਸੀਸਾ। ਬੰਦੋਂ ਬਾਰ ਬਾਰ ਜਗਦੀਸਾ, ਦੋਰਾ ਜਿਸमें अमृत ज्ञान है, मानिक भगत वैराग। गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब उदित बंदों करे अनुराग, श्लोक डंडौत बंदन अनिक बार। सर्व कला समर्थ डोलन तेरा को प्रभु, नानक दे कर अर्थ। बेस मारिया था गणता तोला, जो बुलावो त्यों नानक दास बोले। मुँह कुचरे शास्त्र खट, पिंग गिरन चढ़ जाए। अंध लखै बदरो सुने, जो काल कृपा कराए। का बुध प्रभ तुझा मारी, बरन सकै महिमा जो त्यारी। हम ना सकत कर सिफत तुम्हारी, आप ले हो तुम कथा सुधारी। हम कामी क्रोधी अत कुड़ियारे, तुम ही ठाकुर बख्शनारे। नहीं तुम बिन कोई और हमारा, जो करे हमारा निस्तारा। तन तन साहिब श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी, मंज मुहब्बत तेरी। तन तन साहिब श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी, तन हमारा मीत। तन तन श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी, मोहे अनाथ दास जन तेरा। तन तन साहिब श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी, खास ग्रंथ गुर रूप बदंता। गुरु प्यारी साध संगत जी, गजवज के आखो जी। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। एक बारी होर निम्रता सहित बेनती है, फतेह गजाओ, नाले दास नूं असीसां बख्शो। कृपा करो, bless me with your blessings, so when I do carry on the task of carrying out the topic or the visha and providing it to you in lecture form, that I stay within the boundaries of Gurmat. कृपा करो, गुरु महाराज जी दे विच ध्यान धर के दास नूं असीसां बख्शो। बुलाओ फतेह दवारे। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। Guru Pyari Saad Sangat Ji, this is the English Katha Darbar that starts at 6 o'clock and goes up to 7:30. And today the Bisha, the topic is Saka Nankana Sahib. Khalsa Ji, over our history, after 1708, 1708 is the time that our merciful Lord Guru Gobind Singh Sache Patsha had now given over his form to Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And then after doing so, the Khalsa, it faced a time of turmoil which went by, and then we saw a time of light. That time of light was when we saw the kingdom that Maharaja Ranjit Singh, with the grace of the Almighty, had established. But when that fell because of the British rule, we saw that our Gurukars were coming in the hands of corrupt Mahants. So we would see different Sakas or massacres that would happen. Whether it was Saka Tarantan Sahib, whether it's today's Visha being Saka Nankana Sahib. And before that time, the Khalsa Panth had already faced the Vadda Kalukara, the big Sikh genocide, the Shota Kalukara. If we're not familiar with these, they say that in order to proceed forward into the future, in order to understand where your footing should be placed, a Gursikh should at least have an idea of their history. Because otherwise, they do not know their histories, they're susceptible to making mistakes that others had in the past. Or at least it prepares you and you understand what situations had come before to prepare you and caution you about things that could happen in the future. So today, a story of Saka Nankana Sahib, that if I had any introduction, which I probably cannot weave together for you, I can only say that Marna Manda Loka Akhiye, that Loki, the people in this world, look towards death and how people die in a very bad manner. But Maharaji says, Je koi mar jane koi, that people should understand in the way that a person should pass, and then by doing so, it wouldn't be considered very bad or looked upon in a negative manner. And Saka Nankana Sahib, you see heroes of the Panth. You see the light of the Panth collect together as a jatha. And what do? They're not cursing other individuals. They're not slapping themselves on their chest saying that, look what we did. No, they're singing the praises of God. Melt your ego. Melt your ego by singing the praises of the Lord. Because any strength you derive in your life is because of the Almighty Lord. So today we talk about heroes. One hero that was in this pack of Jatha, that this group that would go to Sri Nanakana Sahib, was a Shaheed named Bhai Kathar Singh. Kathar, the very name, translates to lion. And when he was in the army, with a British soldier walking beside him, and they're going through the jungles, what had happened? Well, a predicament presented. And there was a leopard that popped out of the jungle, and it was ready to attack them. The Englishman quickly climbed up the tree, but the Singh stood tall. And the Englishman called to him. He said that, why don't you climb up? He said that, why should a lion be afraid of a leopard? Why should the king of the jungle be afraid of a leopard? And then he says, here's my gun. Shoot at him. And Bhai Kathar Singh responds. He said that, well, he doesn't have a gun. He points to the leopard and he says he doesn't have a gun. What does the leopard have? He has his paws. And those paws are going to be a means to shred that human flesh. Well, Khalsa Ji Bhai Kathar Singh says then, that sharpness he has on his paw, I'm at a disadvantage. But he pulls out his spear and he says, now we're even. And when that leopard doesn't take a moment, does not hesitate, it leaps at Bhai Kathar Singh. He draws his spear with patience. And when it comes near, he places it through the mouth of the leopard. Bhai Kathar Singh. This is a background to let you know of one individual, where I should let you know of each individual, approximately 200 Shaheeds of Saka Nankana Sahib. I should let you know about each of their histories, but today we're going to get a couple of individuals, so at least we can start by putting ourselves into this time of 1921 when this group goes to Nankana Sahib. He was from a pind called Jadpin, and he had a son. When he would retire off from that army, he would return home. He would find a joyous celebration because he had a new son. A new son. But tragedy came after 21 days when his wife passed away. Who's left in the family? His mother and his newborn son that he names Bhai Darbara Singh. Bhai Darbara Singh. When the time came when the Panth is being called, people are being called to a meeting in Taruval. A meeting in Taruval where jathis, groups are assembling to confront evil. What is this evil? This evil is the dusht. Guru Gobind Singh Ji says in his Pavitra Bani, he says, Kukrit karm je jag mein karahi, naam asur tinko sab tarhi. What does that mean? That je koi manda karm kamaunde is jag de vich, within this world, then Khalsa Ji, that is a demon, a dusht. If a person commits bad deeds, commits foul crimes, that is a demon. Don't look for horns to be popping out of those individuals' heads. Those are the demons in this world. And the demons now are taken our prestigious, our place of sanctity, a Gurdwara, a Dharamsal. Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Avatar Asthan of Nankana Sahib have been taken hold by a Mahant that had women dancing within the precincts of that Gurdwara, where he had been dropping liquor bottles for the individuals he had as paid his employees. He had paid employees, Pathans, Muslim Pathans working there. Some of the money funded by the government, the British government, and then some of the money coming from the Shardalu Gursikhs that come and Matha take there. Mahant Narain-daas is his name. Mahant Narain-daas. And Narain-daas, this individual, is that evil running the Gurdwara Sahib. Well, now these Gursikhs, including Bhai Singh, who in the middle of the day, before the meeting is doing Ishnan, and his son, 6 years of age, comes to his grandmother and he says, why is father doing Ishnan at this moment? She says, why don't you ask him? He comes out and he sees his father is ready. Khalsa Ji, now he sees his father is ready, and at the same time he says, Father, it's not Amrit Vela. You usually do Ishnan at that time. His father responds, but this might be our final meeting. There's evil sitting at Nankana Sahib. What has he done? I'll tell you. 6-year-old son, but he's telling him that the Panth sisters, the individuals, women that have come, 6 women went to Nankana Sahib, to Mathate, and then they've been raped by his individuals. There was a judge, a Sindhi judge, not a Sikh, but he had Shraddha towards Guru Nanak Dev Ji. He retired. With this family, he went to Nankana Sahib. And then going to Nankana Sahib with his wife, his daughter, they went to Mathate to thank Guru Nanak Dev Ji for the period that he had his successful employment. What happened? When they asked for a candle and a place to stay, within the room, one of the individuals working for the Mahant said that I'll give the candle to your 13-year-old. But what did they do? Pardon my language, Khalsa Ji, they molested her. And then, when they complained to the Mahant, the girl came back crying. The girl came back crying, told her father, he being disgusted, went to the person running the Gurdwara, the Mahant Narain-daas. And Mahant Narain-daas, what does he do? He says, Khabardar, if you spread this news, and because you brought these words to me, we're taking your daughter away from you. They would ship the family and tell him, your daughter will be returned to you in the morning at the railway station where you'll leave this place. The whole family couldn't do anything. They waited at the railway station because the whole night has passed and their daughter is being raped. They bring the daughter there. The family catches the railway, the train. They go to a conference where there's Sikhs. The judge, the ex-judge, goes on stage and he says, where are the Sikhs? I don't believe there's any Sikhs living anymore. Look at what's happening in their Gurukas. I had heard during the time of Ahmed Shah Durrani that if women were being snatched from their homes, Sikhs were delivering them back to their homes. But now women are being disrespected within Gurdwaras. Khalsa Ji, the Pant heard this. The Sikhs heard this. And their blood was boiling inside. Blood was pumping inside of their veins. They wanted to clear this off their history, that there's such things had existed and are existing and being done at this very moment. So they started assembling, collecting into groups, and marking a time to get rid of this Mahan. And Bhai Kar Singh has explained a little bit to Bhai Darbar Singh. He said, you can't come. He says to his father, you yourself are the one that tells me stories of how Baba Fateh Singh, at a young age, stood tall when he became Shaheed. Am I not a child of Guru Gobind Singh Ji? Am I not a child of Guru Gobind Singh Ji? Why are you telling my age is too young to accompany you? Bhai Darbar Singh, being insistent, he persevered to accompany his father. And his mother, Maaf Karna, his grandmother, Bhai Darbar Singh's grandmother, comes to give a sisa, blessings to both of them, but she's too short to give a sisa to Bhai Kar Singh, her son. So, Bhai Darbar Singh, the 6-year-old, runs and grabs a stool so his grandmother can stand on top of it to reach out her hand and give blessings to his father. And she says, may Guru Nanak Dev Ji bless your faith with success. Well, Khalsa Ji, they too would go and they would remind themselves of our Guru ki Sakhiyan. Babaniya, Kahaniya, Put Saput Karen. Khalsa Ji, I tell you about another line of your Pant, another brother of your Pant. Khalsa Ji, by Lakshman Singh Ji. By Lakshman Singh Ji, who at one point had heard a little boy doing kirtan, singing out the jas of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And he would go up to the little boy and say that, you sang kirtan very well. I'm so proud. Your parents must be so proud of you. Bhai Lakshman Singh says this to a child named Mangal Singh. And Bhai Mangal Singh says, he starts crying. He starts crying because he's an orphan. His parents have passed on. Bhai Lakshman Singh says, I didn't mean to upset you. I didn't mean to upset you. Bhai Mangal says, I'm an orphan. I sing the praises of Paramatma so people can put money on stage and then I can eat. He says, Bhai Lakshman says, then this was fate. My wife and I, we don't have a child. From this day forth, Bhai Mangal, you are my child. He adopted him. And then one day when Bhai Lakshman Singh is doing Ishnan for the same purpose to go and meet the Jatha, Bhai Mangal Singh has now been wed His wedding has happened. His in-laws have come to the home. And Bhai Mangal Singh says, asks his father, why are you doing Ishnan in the middle of the day? He says, this might be our final mulaqat, final meeting. Guru Maharaj has answered my prayers. We are to go to get rid of the evil Mahant from Sri Nanakana Sahib. Bhai Mangal says, I am coming too, Father. And his wife, who has just been newlywed, the in-laws are saying, why are you going right now? You've just wed her daughter. You want to make her a widow. She steps up. Her name is Bibi Inder Kaur. She steps up and says, no, I'm going with them. The family would go together. They would meet in Tarova. Khasa ji, this, I tell you, is that Jathis are collecting. Chandrakot is their rendezvous point. Rendezvous where everybody is going to come together. Different Jathis in the Panth have collected. Why are they collecting? Because word has come out from the Mahant. From the Mahant. What word is this? That by March, they're going to call all the Sikh leaders and murder them at Sri Nanakana Sahib in March. And Mahant Narain-daas is planning this because now there's a new committee called the Shiromani Prabandhak Committee that has come into formation. They're going to kill them off. They're going to kill off all the leaders. And this plan has been made. So Jathebandis are collecting in different places. One by Sardar Kartar Singh Chabbar, which you see in the photo there. One Sant Teja Singh. One Jatha of Sardar Bhutta Singh, and one I just mentioned, under Bhai Lakshman Singh, who in his Jatha has Bhai Kair Singh within that Jatha. Khalsa ji, they decided that by February 20th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, February 19th, 20th, 21st, the Mahant is going to his own conference, some sort of Sanatan Sikh conference, and he will leave the premise of Sri Nanakana Sahib. So this is our opportunity. We go in big number. We occupy the Gurdwara. We control the Gurdwara. We don't let the Mahant come back in. So they're going to go in this manner. But now word's gotten out that the Mahant has found out about these Jathas forming. That evil Dusht, that evil Papi knows about this. And what's going to happen is he's going to wake them with bullets and guns, rifles, and then slaughter all of them. So, a chithi has been written by this Shiromani Prabandhak Committee and the other Sikh leaders. There's a messenger that's been sent to go stop these Jathe. Word comes to Sardar Kartar Singh Chabbar. He says, it's the hukum of the Panth. You don't proceed forward. Well, Sardar Kartar Singh Chabbar says that, I understand, I won't go, but what's going to stop Bhai Lakshman Singh? Bhai Lakshman Singh. Sant Teja Singh has stopped his Jatha. Sardar Bhutta Singh, Lalpur has stopped his Jatha. And one man stands up and he says, by Dalip Singh his name, he says, I'll deliver the message to Bhai Lakshman Singh. I'll deliver personally myself. He would go now. And now on the other side, Bhai Lakshman Singh is getting ready to do Ardas. He does 2 Ardasas there, one at home before Guru Maharaj Ji in one of his rooms, and one at the Gurdwara that he's going to do right after. He does the Ardas, and he says, Sache Paatshah Safalta Baksho. And Updesh Baksho. Jinante main Purne pa sakam. Give me teachings. So when I know how to conduct myself in this morcha, in this peaceful morcha that we're going to march to the Pavitra Sthan of Sri Nanakana Sahib. Well, he does this ardas, and from this ardas, the hukamnama comes. This is the hukamnama from Guru Granth Sahib Ji that Bhai Lakshman Singh would read out after doing ardas. Koi aan milave mera pritam pyara. Somebody I request, come and unite me to my beloved Lord. Hom tis pe aap vich aaye. And it's my request, if you do so, what will I give to you? I'll give you my name. I'll give you everything that's under my custody. I'll sell myself before the one that unites me with the Lord. I'm just going to forward through and touch on some panktiyan because we have a very short time to cover a lot here. Je sukh de ta tujhe aradi. Lord, if you give me a time of peace and pleasure, I would still recite your name. Dukh bhi tujhe tyai. And if a time of pain, a time of hardship comes, I'll still worship you with every breath. Je bhukh de ta iti raja. But if a time comes, no food, and I'm starving of hunger, ta itihi raja, I will stay content and not cry out for food or drink. Dukh vich sukh manai, and within this pain, I would consider it the Lord giving me pleasure, and I would remain in this state. And the next line, I ask you, Sat Sangat Ji, to pay close attention. Tan man kaat kaat sab arpi, vich agni aap jalai. And if the time presented, I would cut. If it meant someone were to cut me, I would present it forward my body, and my body were to be cut, keema ho jave, cut into small pieces and be thrown into fire. If this meant that I were to join with you, Lord, I would do so, and I would not flinch. Khalsa Ji, this came as a hukamnama. And when this came as a hukamnama, Bhai Lakshman Singh understands that this means Shaheedi. Guru Maharaj is granting Shaheedi to him. If he moves forward, he's not going to step back. The agge nu mukh karke piche nu nahi hum dekhna. Bhai Lakshman Singh and his son have now gone to meet the Jatha, and he's the Jathadar of this group. And now the group says, Bhai Lakshman Singh, ardas karo. They were in a village called Nazampur Deva Singh Wale. And within that village, he said, Bhai Lakshman Singh, ardas karo. He says, मैं आपकी निजी अरदास कर ली, पर उन सरबत संगतां लई अरदास करदा. हे सच्चे पातशाह, गरीब निवाज सच्चे पातशाह, जो दास ने अरदास सोधी है सच्चे पातशाह, कृपा करो. Now the Sangat, on behalf of all the Sangat, give him updesh, give him the will to accept your bana, give him the will to accept what pleases you, the Lord, and give us your word to comfort us and give us strength along this path. Give us the agya, give us the permission to move forward. And Khalsa Ji, now another hukamnama that Bhai Lakshman Singh is going to listen to what Bhai Ishwar Singh has gone to Tabya, and he recites, what is the hukamnama? Koi aan milave mera pritam pyara. The same hukamnama that Bhai Lakshman Singh had heard at home. Now Guru Maharaj Ji ne more lati. He has sealed it, and he said, for you, Bhai Lakshman Singh, it's the same updesh that I offer the Sangat. That tan man kaat kaat sab arpi, vich agni aap jalai, what sits before you in order to take the Gurdwara Sahib is Shaheedi. Your body is going to be cut to pieces And if it means it be thrown into fire, take a step forward. If you're willing to proceed, Bella Maran Kabul, accept your death. If it's going to mean that the whole Jatha has now accepted and they're moving forward, they're going to go to this place called Chandrakot Dicha. But now if you remember, the other Jathe, the other 3 Jathe have received a message to not proceed forward. So what has happened is the Jatha of Bhai Lakshman Singh, the group of Bhai Lakshman Singh, have sent messengers to go meet with the other Jatha here. But there's nobody there. There's nobody there. They would come back and says, nobody is assembled. Should we turn back? They said, no. Marji has given us a hukam. Marji has given us a hukam. We move forward. And then there's another messenger holding a piece of paper that says, turn back. His name is Bhai Pardeep Singh and he's frantic looking for this Jatha. He would come up to the point near Nankana Sahib, and there's a factory owned by a Gursikh named Bhai Uttam Singh. He would give him the message if he encounters the Jatha to give this message to them. Now on the other side, the evil Mahant Narain-daas, he's been given word by a Muslim woman that the Jathas aren't stopping. There's a Jatha coming. There's a Jatha, 200 strong, that are going to arrive here soon. The Mahant was on a jeep going in a direction and he jumped off the jeep. And now he assembled a group of 400 thugs. 400 thugs that are being paid, have bullets, have guns, have prepared, have kerosene, gas to burn the bodies. They're all prepared. And they've all assembled in different parts of Nankana Sahib, which is a huge property. And that night, the Mahant had brought sharab. He had brought sharab, alcohol, which he had brought before to them, and he had drunk it himself. And he had brought it and given it out to each of the individuals. So there is no hesitation to cut to pieces when individuals are dying before you. There's no sympathy because alcohol has dumbed you and you're so drunk that you carry on the task of murder. Well, Khalsa ji, there is a Jatha coming, and that Jatha by Lakshman Singh is very close now to Nankana Sahib. And Shaheed by Dal Singh, who's in the Jatha by Lakshman Singh, who you see a photo of, he says, and he turns to some of the women, he empties out his pockets of all the money that he has earned, and he hands it to the women. And he knows that word is getting to them that the Mahant is there. The evil Mahant is there. That we're not returning alive. And he says, for this Khalsa Panth, take this money. When we become martyred, place this money within the langar at our funeral, so I can do seva of the Sangat in some way. With this money, it can be put to good use. Khalsa ji, dekho bhavna tode bhra di. Shaheed Bhai Lakshman says that jo bhi mana, je tan mana arp ditta, maaf karna, je mana arp ditta, tan body bhi arp ditta. If I give my mind, if I give my body, then what's left? Tan, your wealth. I give everything over. Sab Guru Maharaj ji ne saunp ditta. A gesture of love from Bhai Dal Singh. And by then, the chitti came. Here's the actual chitti that arrived to Bhai Lakshman Singh. Bhai Lakshman says, the Panth has told us to turn back And when he started considering this, Pardeep Singh started to sing out the Hukamnama. He says, yes, the Panth has given us a hukum, but something overrides this. Something overrides this. And he read out, Tan man kaat kaat sab arpi, Vijakani aap jalai. Pardeep Singh says, Guru Maharaj ji ne dobri tonu hukum ditta. Bhai Lakshman Singh, how can you consider turning back? Bhai Lakshman Singh is solidified. He says, Apani hon mordana, honni mordna. And what do? Next, Khalsaji, they arrive at Nankana Sahib. Nobody blocks them from coming inside. They gain entrance, pravesh hoge. They come. They go to Matha Tek. Now before Guru Nanak Dev Ji's shrine, where Guru Granth Sahib Ji sits. Remember, this was the home where there's a midwife, Duladai, and she had witnessed Guru Maharaj's avatar. This is the home of Guru Nanak Dev Ji and his Bal Leela. They go within the Gurdwara. And Bhai Lakshman Singh goes and sits on Tabya. Khalsa Ji, there's a group of 200. There's only so many that could come into the darbar. The rest are outside. And what do you start hearing? Gunshots. Firing over and over again. And the Gursikhs, they're saying, Satnam Sri Vaheguru Sahib Ji Japo. Sarnek Bari Satnam Sri Vaheguru Sahib Ji. Imagine your brothers standing, singing out Maharaj's job. Bhai Lakshman Singh, Jotiyan de vich gai jande tapya uppar. And Jai Sangat khadiya, bullets are hitting him in the head, hitting him in the body. They're getting gunned down by these goons up on a high place, shooting them down. Bullets are riddling their bodies. One by one, they're falling. A group of 25 have fallen. Another group of goons have come. They have axes and they start cutting up the bodies, piece by piece, dismembering them, dismembering their bodies. And there's a fire going. They're dragging the bodies, cutting them up into pieces, throwing them into the fire. And now they've moved into the darbar and they're firing. And what you see before you is a testament that Gur mera sang sada hai nale. Guru Maharaj knows his children are here to save this Gurdwara from the Mahants. And whether it was 1984, and we know Guru Maharaj's Swarup took a bullet. And to me that says your Guru stands with you. Your Guru Sahib takes a bullet with you. Guru Maharaj's Swarup took bullets. And there, in the photo, you can see a Swarup that's been given the title Shaheeda Bead of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji that took bullets. Khalsa Ji, when Bhai Lakshman Singh saw bullets going into Guru Maharaj Ji, he took Maharaj's Swarup into his arms and bullets started riddling his body. And Mahant Narain-daas has covered his face and is upon a horse and is signaled to his men, drag his body out, burn him alive, take him up on this tree here, hang him upside down, soak his body in kerosene, burn him alive. Bhai Lakshman Singh, all you hear is Satnam Sri Vaheguru Sahib Ji over and over again, calling out to God. And within the darbar, Khalsa Ji, if you were to go into the darbar, what do you do when you go into the darbar? You wash your feet. And there's a little place that has water in it, and you place your feet in it to clean your feet before you step into the darbar. Then the one here in Nankana Sahib is about 14 inches deep. And Khalsa Ji, now with all the bodies lying there, that had come in a peaceful manner to Guru Maharaj's darbar, that had not turned back regardless if death was facing them. Khalsa Ji, I want to show you a photo. On the left, there you see that chubacha, that's trying, that square on the bottom of the ground that's 14 inches deep. And Khalsa Ji, that was filled with blood that was coming out from that darbar. And on the side, you won't see it. A photo has been taken in black and white. But on the bottom, that dark area on the bottom, that's actually blood of your brothers coming from the darbar. Part of Bhai Lakshman Singh, part of Bhai Kair Singh. Two individuals I introduced to you. But I don't hold them higher than the other individuals. All of them are precious. All of them are falling shaheed in Maharaj's darbar. Khalsa Ji, all that blood is coming out and filling what was water has now become a pool of blood. And they're dragging the bodies out. And there are 3 spots outside of the darbar that they burnt the bodies. They would cut them up. How ruthless can you be? They're drunk with alcohol. They're wetting the bodies with kerosene. They're cutting the bodies up. And when the first bullets were fired, the messenger that wanted to stop this jatha, he heard the bullets from a distance. He came running to Nankana Sahib. And where he told himself, oh no, I didn't succeed. I was to stop this jatha. He came in. Khalsa Ji saw that cruel Mahant on his horse, and he said, you bloodthirsty Mahant, look at the blood that you stained on your hands. How can you do this in the place of Guru Nanak Dev Ji? He took out a pistol and shot Bhai Pardeep Singh. Another came and beheaded him. He was with another individual. They dismembered him too. They took all of the body parts and would throw it into the fire. Khalsa Ji, they had drawn out, this is that Jan. That is the tree where Bhai Lakshman Singh was turned upside down and hung and then lit on fire. And then they took his head off. They took the heads, piled them in one huge pile. And they say there was at least 120 heads, skulls. Khalsa Ji, they're burning them. They're burning all these individuals. And they even have drawn out the blood stain. You see the center, you'll see the darbar of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. I know it's hard to read, but you see a streak going all the way around. That's where all the sangat was. That's where the killing happened. And then they would take all the bodies, and in the top left corner is where the tree is. They would take them and then throw them into these funeral pyres. They would throw them into these piles where they had lit them up in fire. Khalsa Ji, they had slaughtered a jatha of 200. And now, this jatha had arrived at 6 o'clock in the morning. They were singing the praises, getting ready to do Asa Diwar. And by 12 o'clock, they had killed all of them. They had sacrificed all of them. They had become shaheeds. And now word gets to, there's a Gursikh named Bhai Uttam Singh. He had sent message out to the Jathis that never arrived. One was Avkartar Singh Chabbar. He received a message and he was shocked. his blood was boiling and he didn't know if to cry. He was in such shock. Then he knew what to do. He assembled a force. He says, that's it. Peace, when peace has seen its limit, when Guru Arjan Dev Ji showed us tolerance, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji took up the sword. Where Gursikh Pras had shown a peaceful manner, 2,200 Gursikhs are armed and ready, marching towards Nankana Sahib. Khalsa Ji, by then the English had come, the British, and the weapons that those Muslim Pathans had, they were bought by those same English. And the English have come. Captain Murray and Captain King have asked him to arrest some of the Pathans. Some have fled. 20 have been arrested. And they've taken the whole area and locked it off. So no Gursikh can come, nor do they want to hand this place over to Gursikhs. Well, what happens, Khalsa Ji? I forgot to tell you one story. This is actually a photo of a little child from 1984. I didn't have a photo of Bhai Darbar Singh. There in Guru Maharaj's Darbar, Bhai Kair Singh had taken his son, 6-year-old son, who was insistent upon coming and saying that you told me stories of Baba Fateh Singh. Why would you leave me at a time like this if you know Shaheeda's there? Bhai Kair Singh had taken him into Almari, into a little bit of a cabinet inside of Maharaj's Darbar and hid him. He said, you hide here. By then, Bhai Kair Singh had been shot. And you heard a little voice, a totally awaj, of Bhai Darbar Singh, 6 years of age, saying, Pitaji, Pitaji, don't leave me. I want to come with you. I want to come with you. I want to fight. I want to go with you. And when they heard this, the drunk Pathans opened up the almari, opened up the cabinet, and they see a 6-year-old child. But do they have mercy? No. One of them grabs him by the arms, the other grabs him by the legs, another comes and cuts him in half. And then they cut his hands off. They cut him from the knees, cut him into pieces, and they throw him into the fire as well. Bhai Darbar Singh, a 6-year-old, becomes Shaheed. Khalsa Ji, this is what gives definition to this line. Translates, Porja, Porja, Katmare, Kabuna Chade Khet. They've been mangled, mutilated, dismembered. All you see is a pile of blood, bones, gatre, kade, kashare have been burnt. There would be only 4 bodies that you can recognize that had been slightly burned, that had survived most of the fire, but they still had passed away. Khalsa Ji, you see another drish, another scene, different areas, piles of blood. But look at these individuals. You ask, Jit charki de upar chadya, if they try to cut by Taru Singh's scalp off, Subeg Singh, Subhaj Singh on the Charkha, Khalsa Ji, these were the same individuals. And they'll come again. That's why these stories are so important to the Panth. Seeking justice, Sardar Kartar Singh Chabbar, the next day on the 21st, comes with 2,200 Gursikhs armed with shastras, asking, they come to Nankana Sahib, and the English are threatening to fire at him if they proceed further. Kartar Singh Chabbar goes to Mr. Curry and Mr. King and demands the key. He says, as Jerusalem is prestigious to you, this is Nankana Sahib. This is where our Dharm saw the beginning with Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And if you want to see more blood, you will. on this day if you don't hand over the key. They were scared. They handed over the key. They gave the key over to Kartar Singh Chabbar when they open up the doors to Nankana Sahib. Khalsa Ji, they see their brothers. 2,200 stand to see flush. Gatre, they see kade, they see kirpan. And then in the corner, what do you see there? Title? In the left corner, you see Sharab diya botalan that had been drunk, had been consumed by the Pathans on the very grounds what belonged to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Khalsa Ji, they demanded the keys, they got the keys, and now they're preparing for the funeral, which happened on today. 21st is when they would enter, and by the 23rd, the funeral was happening. And 126 skulls had been carried to this massive funeral pyre. 4 bodies that they found whole had been burnt. They brought, and bits of flesh that had been collected, and 3 large baskets was brought there, and 10 baskets of bone. But nobody flinched. They knew this was their own blood. They knew this was our panth. Everybody gathered together, and Khalsa Ji, they worked together, and they kept wiping away their tears. There was the mother of Bhai Kair Singh, the grandmother of Bhai Darbar Singh, looking for either her son or her grandson. What did she find? She found a leg. This is all she found. A leg that had been cut from the knee down. Just that much of the leg. And she recognized it was Bhai Kair Singh's leg from the nishaniya, from the marks that he had earned in the army. And she says, Loko dekho, look at, this is my child. And look at what my child has done. He has served the panth. He has served the panth. She didn't cry. She took that leg and added it to the funeral pyre. And she consoled herself. She knew of the story of the Sahibzade that she had been telling by Darbar Singh. And to this day, she knew, she saw both of her children, whether it was her son and grandson, their full life before her eyes. And she knew that if I left this world, who knows if they might have turned away from Sikhi. But I saw their full life pledged Sikhi. And she gave that contribution to the funeral pyre. And Khalsa Ji, there's a principal, this is his actual photo, Principal Jodh Singh, who did the ardas. And he said to the panth, before I do ardas, I want anybody who has any doubt to listen today. Before I do ardas, before I say Jinnah Singh, Singhniya, Puchangiya ne, Tarmhed Sees Ditte. Before I say that, I want everybody to listen. I want those that question the content of ardas, that don't pay attention to the content of ardas. When we say, Jinnah ne khopriyan lahaiyan, charkhriyan te chade, aapa sare sunde hain, par kaiyan nu yakeen kya nahi hota that people can't really believe it, koi ain kar sakda. Principal Jodh Singh says, look, behold, and see for yourself if it is really true or not. Look at these bodies. They give meaning to this ardas, don't they? He says, you still have time, come and see these bodies, because they're speaking. I hear them, and they're hollering, what we said, we lived up to, and we did. And what was that? They lived up to what Marji's word was. Marji's word had said that come my children, pehla maran kabool, जीवन की शर आस, हो सबना की रेण का, तो आओ हमारे पास. We lived up to that. खालसा जी, साडी तो जय जयकार होनी चाहिए इस दिन के ऊपर. Right? When Guru Tegh Bahadur ji gave, when Maharaj gave his joke to Guru Gobind Singh ji and his head came off, Maharaj had said that, the world is crying, but what's happening in the afterlife? They're singing out the praises. They're saying victory, victory, because the keys have been handed to Sikhs. And today Nankana Sahib is under the hands of Sikhs, Nitnemi Sikhs that love Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So, Sadi De Safala. Our body is safal today. Hukumnama, Ardas Kirti, Hukumnama, Lea. And Bhai Jot Singh ne Hukumnama de vich ek kya si Khalsa ji? That give them a place beside your feet. Sache Pasha, sanu bhi yakeen aave that eh jo Gurmukh जिन्हां ने अपना शरीर दिता इन्हां नूं तुहाडे नाल तुहानूं तुसी सच्चे पातशाह इन्हां नूं जगह बख्श दित्ती अरदास कीती and this is the ardas that came Salok जो लोड़ी ते राम सेवक से कांडिया नानक जाने सत साईं संत न बारा. Maharaj says, if you want to understand, if you seek Lord Ide, the Lord, Ram, Sevak Se Kande, that's how you can recognize what a true servant is. Nanak Jane Sat, know this to be the truth. Sai Santana Bara, that the Lord and His saints that lay their lives, there's no difference between them. They're the same. And now, Khalsa ji, you want to know what happened to the Shaheeds? Listen. Shanta mil jal jale khatana ram. Khatana means to merge. Just like a water droplet merges with the ocean. That's how my children here that have earned Shaheediyah have merged with the Supreme Lord. Sang Jyoti Jyot Milana Ram. Sang Jyoti, like a light ray joins with the complete Roshan, which we will call light radiance. In the same fashion, they've joined with the light of the Lord. And Maharaj Kandiya, Samay Purna Purkh Karte, they merged with none other than the complete absolute Lord, Creator. Aap hai janiye. Who knows this? Sache Pasha aap hi jande hai. Maharaj ji tonu das rahe ha Guru Granth Sahib ji rahi and tonu ki keh rahe ha? Khalsa ji, Maharaj ji aap hi aap jande hai, tusi fikr na karo. Maharaj ji aap jande hai, meri god de vich aa gaye. Te sun sehj samad lagi. They're in a state of sun, of thoughtlessness. There's no thoughts corrupting their minds no more. Saj, in a natural state. Samad, they're in this meditative state. Ek vakhaniye. And the true one Lord has been revealed to them because they've merged with that Lord. Aap Gupta, Aap Mukta. The Lord that we can't see with these eyes, but yet Aap Mukta has liberated these souls. Mukta means to liberate them from the 84 lakh, that 84 lakh that we're still stuck in. Aap Vakhana, He Himself, Aap Vakhana reveals this. Khalsa ji, nobody else can know unless you have that heightened spiritual state. Nanak Brahm Pe Gun Binase. What has Guru Maharaj Ji done for them? What can He do for you? Brahm, this delusion of Maya has been dispelled. The worries that exist about earning money, raising family, and so forth has all gone away. All those virtues you think that Maya has given you, that actually is polluting you, that has all banase, has gone away. Mil jal jale khatana, mil jal jale khatana. In the same way Maharji started this shant, he explains and he says to you and the Sangat there in 1921, fikr na karo, just like a water droplet merges with the ocean, my children have merged with me. Don't worry for them. They're in my care now. They're in my care. Khalsa ji, the Khalsa Panth said, arrest this Mahant. That's our next priority. And the other priority is to build a memorial that shows the Sikh Sangat to this day that these children are sitting with Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and they're always found a place right beside Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Their memorial reminds us that to this day. Anybody that goes to Pakistan, to Nankana Sahib, you go to Guru Maharaj's Shan and then turn your head towards this memorial and say, these are true children. These are children that said that today we're leaving our family and belongings behind, but we found our father. We found our father, the same father we're trying to find. Now we have opportunity to join with him in Shabd. We have opportunity to call to him with Gurmantar, but we still don't do so. And they were given this gift of Shaheedi and they accepted. And unhone piche nu mukh nahi pheriya, agge nu mukh kita, and Guru Maharaj ji naal baraj ke. Forgive me if I made any mistakes. Bas 5 minute da sama. We normally will be doing Mool Mantar, but aaj Gur Mantar da jaap karke eh samarpit karna apa. Samarpit means to commemorate these Gur Sikhs. Once this 5 minutes of jap has ended, I want you to say in your head, Sache Patsha, that this jap is samarpita. It's commemorating these shaheed. I remember where I haven't taken time out to remember these shaheed properly, but today, for these 5 minutes that I give over to these shaheeds, I'm going to say Vaheguru 4 times, piche sarne japna. Vaheguru, 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 Tan Vaheguru, Jap Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Tan Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Satnam Vaheguru 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 Satnam Sache Paatshah ਧੰਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਮਹਾਨ ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਰਪਿਤਾ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਸ ਦਾ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦਾ ਮਹੱਤਤਾ ਇਹ ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਹੁੰਚਾ ਦੇਣਾ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਖਸ਼ ਦੇਣਾ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ if I made any mistakes I want to point out one figure. This lecture is not possible without Guru Maharaj's grace, and it's not possible without one of his children whose name is Bhai Pardeep Singh. And he has been so instrumental in carrying on this tradition of reminding us about Saka and Nankana Sahib. He has been every year, whether it's in different samagams, talking about Saka and Nankana Sahib. So, apapula yena. And just sama hoya, I butchered it today. I've tried to make out a PowerPoint so it becomes a bit easier. But let's take some time and go onto YouTube and write by Pardeep Singh and Saka and Nankana Sahib and listen to the prem, because he's read all the Pustaka, and if he were to tell you in full, he tells you the Saki from Saka Tarantan all the way up to Saka Nankana Sahib, and I feel like I butchered it. But nevertheless, I've tried my best to present in front of you some small picture that hopefully that presents in front of you. It comes as a picture when you do Ardas before Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Forgive me for my mistakes. Malar Mala Panjwa, He Gobind, He Gopal, He Dayal, Lal Rahao, Pran Natha Nath Sakhe, Deen Dard Nawar. हे सम्राट अगम पूर्ण मोहे मया तार अंधकूप महाम्यान नानक पार उतार श्लोक आय प्रभ शरणागति कृपा नित दयाल एक अखर मन बस्त नानक होत न्याल एक अखर मन बस्त नानक होत न्याल वाहिगुरु नाम जहाज है चरे सो करे पार जो सरदा कर सेम दे गुरु पार उतारनार जो सरदा कर सेम दे गुरु पार उतारनार. I thank Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and I thank the Sarbat Sangat that took time out for this time to learn about Saka and Nankana Sahib. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa.